Hello Wolfpack. We have to talk today about why Ethereum moving and Bitcoin in a seemingly pretty harsh downtrend to a certain extent is kind of worrying. All right, a lot of people who are particularly uneducated about the cryptocurrency market, when they see Ethereum moving and Bitcoin in a downtrend, they see it as a sign of recovery. They see it as a sign that altcoins are going to lead the next rally. As someone who is seasoned in the market, I would say that Ethereum moving while Bitcoin is in a downtrend is not actually the best thing we want to see, because what it is basically, historically, it's bait. It's bait, right? And it's not a bad thing, but it is what we saw back in May. And I'll show you what happened here in May. And look, this is a scenario we've gone over before, and the reason why we want it to end ASAP, and the reason why we want Bitcoin to come up ASAP, literally as soon as possible, and make new all-time highs, is because in the last rally, right, in 2021, earlier this year, what we saw was Bitcoin all-time highs here, we dropped down, and then we had a dead cat bounce in which Bitcoin was unable to make new all-time highs, but Ethereum went absolutely ballistic, right? If we go to the Ethereum chart, we can see that in that May time period, where Bitcoin was fully, completely exhausted, Ethereum actually went from 2,100 all the way to 4,400. So it more than doubled in the time that Bitcoin was underneath its all-time high, right? And the reason why this is a bad thing is because that is a signal that money is exiting the market. Because if you don't know, money in the cryptocurrency market flows in a very cyclical pattern. It goes into Bitcoin, and then it flows into altcoins, and then it flows into fiat, right? And then it repeats eventually. So what we don't want to be seeing right now, right? And this is very, very critical. What we don't want to be seeing right now is a dead cat bounce similar to what we saw in May here. And what that would look like on the current chart would be something like this, right? So we'd come down, we've had this correction, and we'd see a bounce up, but we'd be unable to make new all-time highs, and then we drop down, right? And in this time period, although altcoins would rally massively, right? In this time period, altcoins would likely go up, double, triple, like they did in May over here, right? And that's been proven to us by Ethereum's bullish price action right now. What would happen is we'd actually be entering a bear market, and that would confirm that the top is already in, right? What we want to be seeing is Bitcoin continuing its rally with the Black Friday and Thanksgiving news in the next couple of days, the next few days, which is typically the most bullish week in the market. We want to be seeing Bitcoin taking new all-time highs, right? And then once Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high and more money is in the cryptocurrency space, we can see an even bigger altcoin season on the dead cat bounce and then drop down for a bear market, right? That's what we want to be seeing. We don't want to be seeing the altcoin season now, because although that is bullish in the short term for us and we make money in the short term, it means that the bull market is essentially closing up. You'll notice that the dead cat bounce here only lasted, well, from 26th of April to around the 12th of May, so around 2 or 3 weeks in earlier this year. And in the January period after the 2017 bull market, which is when Ethereum started to take off, right? Bitcoin topped out in mid-December and altcoins topped out in mid-January. That lasted about a month. So we're looking at about a month maximum if this happens, if Bitcoin fails to make new all-time highs very, very soon, right? Because, look, I've gone over this scenario in previous videos. I said that either Bitcoin comes up and makes new all-time highs, preferably before December, maybe at the start of December, right? Maybe at the start of December, preferably before December, makes new all-time highs. We're still in the clear. We can still make, a pretty good, decent bull market and see a large altcoin season. Whereas if Bitcoin drops right here, and I said if Bitcoin drops right here, we're going to see a dead cat bounce in which everyone will get into altcoins. We'll see a miniature altcoin season, and then we'll see a bear market. So we're on the, we're pretty much on a knife's edge with two both pretty compelling scenarios, which you could argue quite easily for each of them. All right, Bitcoin, it is notable to say that Bitcoin doesn't look too bad right now, right? I said, and I've said before in multiple videos, I've said that I would be waiting personally, if you're entering Bitcoin, if you're entering the market in general, I would be waiting for a break of this RSI divergence, and I would also be waiting for a break of the POC here at 61.1k, right? Before re-entering massively into the market. Until that point, Bitcoin is still in a pretty unstable state, right? Every time we've seen a bearish divergence on Bitcoin, we continuously just make slightly higher highs until we see a crash. Right now, what we're seeing is probably that crash. What we want to be doing is coming up and breaking it to the upside, where we'll see a massive rally to the upside. When do I think that's going to happen? I say if it is going to happen, it's going to happen this week on Thanksgiving or Black Friday. If it doesn't happen this week, I would lean towards the scenario that we're going to be seeing a miniature altcoin season before a potential bear market, or at least a bearish phase in the market for a few months at the very, very minimum, right? You know, when we do break out of this RSI bearish divergence, we will be seeing a MACD cross to support us, so the rally should be quite large. But the point of this video is to say that, you know, even if you're looking at the hourly chart right now, and we'll look at the hourly chart, so this is the Bitcoin hourly chart, and I want to go back to the daily chart 1 second. I will say there is some signs of strength on Bitcoin. We have a bullish divergence on the daily chart, which is a pretty big deal, right? When you see bullish divergences on the daily chart, it's a pretty big deal. It means that selling pressure is decreasing, right? And the bears aren't going to be able to hold on to the downtrend for much longer. So it could be a sign that the bottom's in. We're in a descending triangle structure, which is a bearish structure typically, but paired with bullish divergences every single time we come down to the lows. As you can see here, we had a bullish divergence, and here we had a bullish divergence. It isn't the most bearish structure, right? It's basically telling us that, hey, although we are in a bearish market structure, there is a chance this could be the bottom, simply due to the fact that there aren't many people willing to sell at current prices. So we have to really monitor it and see what happens here. A break to the upside of this bearish structure and completely annihilating the bearish descending triangle formation would be a great thing to see in the next few days, especially, as I said, with Black Friday and Thanksgiving coming up very, very shortly. That's what we want to be seeing. But as you can see, Bitcoin is largely in a downwards trend on the hourly chart, and then you flip over to Ethereum, and Ethereum is largely in an upwards trend, right? Making higher lows and making higher highs for the most part. So there is a pretty clear indication and pretty clear evidence that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin massively, and we really do not want this to continue this early into the cycle. We would want this to continue if Bitcoin had already topped out, right? So if you say that, hey, 69k was the top, you'd be thinking that right now is the start of an altcoin season. I don't personally think, as of current, that 69k is the top. I think that if we don't make a move this week for Thanksgiving and Black Friday, it's becoming increasingly likely that it is in fact the top at 69k, and that it is in fact an altcoin season right here. But you know, one of the reasons I'm concerned right now, and there is reason to be concerned, one of the reasons I am concerned is the fact that the Bitcoin dominance chart is not playing out how we expected it to play out. And obviously things happen not how we expected all the time, so that's not a reason to be concerned in itself. But we seem to be extensively consolidating here. And, you know, in a downwards trend, extensive consolidation usually just means it's a platform before another drop, right? We're seeing a kind of a sideways channel formation, and it's sideways channel formations in a downwards trend. They could be patterns of reversal, but I would say it's a sign for another drop. And what we actually do want to be seeing if Bitcoin's going to make new all-time highs is another rally. We can see that at the same time in 2017, we had a couple of red candles, and then we rallied up one last time before a massive dump in the Bitcoin dominance, which is when Ethereum started to pump. Right now, we've seen a few more than a couple red candles, right? And we haven't really hit Bitcoin dominance levels we really want to be hitting if Bitcoin's going to have a massive rally. Bitcoin should be reaching at least 52, at least 49 again on the Bitcoin dominance realistically. If you think if Bitcoin's going to go to 100k, if you're a believer in Bitcoin going to 100k, you should be thinking at least those regions, because Bitcoin needs the steam to get there. If Bitcoin's going to go to 100k, you can't just have everyone buying altcoins. Bitcoin needs to be the center of attention for a while, and that's why December is typically the period in which Bitcoin makes new all-time highs on the Bitcoin pair, or the new local highs on the Bitcoin pair. On the Bitcoin dominance chart. Right, so we really need to be seeing that in December, and the reason why this is concerning is because it looks like it's about to fall off a cliff, to be honest. And if it does fall off a cliff here, that's great in the short term. Our altcoins will rally, but it means that Bitcoin will probably very much struggle to make new all-time highs, and the market cycle top might actually be in already, right? If Bitcoin struggles to make new all-time highs, it's probably going to do something similar to what it did in May, as I've just shown you, where it kind of just goes up a little bit, but it really doesn't have the buying pressure because everyone's just buying altcoins, and then we have a massive drop. So it is a critical time in the market, and it's worth looking into extensively. It's worth monitoring. We really do not want to be seeing, well, in my personal opinion, if you're thinking short term, you could say, yeah, Ethereum pumping is great, because that means, within a month, your altcoins are going to be going parabolic pretty much. But if you really want to believe in the longer term scale and the bigger picture, if you want a even bigger altcoin season in a couple of months, a few months, then you'd really be wanting Bitcoin to go up even higher here, because the higher Bitcoin goes, the bigger the altcoin season is going to be when it comes. So I suppose it's a positive thing either way. It would just be much more positive if Bitcoin makes new all-time highs before this happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.